This channel supports Extra Life in its efforts to raise money for the Children's Miracle Network. For more information about how to donate and join in their efforts, go to the link displayed here. Extra Life. Play games, heal kids. What up, everybody? This your boy Black Magus, and E3 has had some big things happen this year. I'm basically just finishing up on some thoughts on E3, so you're gonna see over the course of this week a lot of individual videos coming out with me expressing my thoughts on things that I thought stood out the most. Now, this video here is just going to be a general overview, last final thoughts on this year's E3. So I'm just going to give cursory opinions on certain things. Just keep looking out for those videos where I get more in detail about certain things. But as far as what I feel about E3 for this year, it was solid. It was really good. While I did think that the addition of all these other conferences kind of blew it up more than it needed to be, the scope of E3 kind of getting too big, and I also was wondering if it was going to make E3 actually stand out, or it's going to make it something that, in my opinion, is something that's kind of on the down. I think it brought E3 back up. I think it definitely did prove me wrong as far as the significance of E3, partially because I think they really did it well. I think this year, for the most part, people did it well. At least some of the bigger people did it well. Microsoft, Ubisoft, and Sony, all three of you guys did an excellent job of your presentations. You didn't get too didn't go too overboard with your presentation. There were some moments like, Ubisoft's always going to have the dancing, singing part with some music artists, things like that. But for the most part, I thought they just kept it mostly simple. Oh, and Bethesda too. I thought Bethesda as well kept it simple, straightforward. Like boom. It was well done. Even some of the bad ones actually were more straightforward. Like, I thought Square Enix's conference was horrible presentation wise, because it was just lifeless. It was very robotic, very flat. It felt like they gave no time to rehearse and get relaxed and comfortable with their presentations. They just seemed very stiff and stale. They didn't generate any type of excitement or interest, but they were straightforward for the most part, so that fits too. EA, that's an example of bad presentation, which is anchored by unnecessary stuff. Like, that is my biggest problem with EA this year, is that they had way too many unnecessary moments. The dev diary type stuff that they did, the interview with Pele that went on too long, the cosplay thing that they didn't need to, that kind of messed up the whole Plants vs. Zombie presentation. I think it really killed the vibe of that game, in my opinion. Stuff like that, you know what I mean? Or they could have just played it a lot more straight, things like that. So, but overall, we got some quality information put out. Heard about some really good things coming in the future. We're moving now into what is going to be the second full year that these consoles have been out by the time we get to November. And I think that at this pace, they're a little bit ahead of what we were last gen. I know a lot of people don't think that, because a lot of people have gotten more impatient and have forgotten, but generally speaking, it takes 3 years for consoles to start the ramp up to fleshing out more. I think we're getting there a little faster this time. I think there's a lot more on the plate for these consoles. I think a lot more developers are making that push to say, hey, let's stop with these cross-platform games that go back to the old generation, and let's try to stick to and focus on the current generation. And that's very, very beneficial for us. It means that for those of us who have these consoles, we'll get more quality products. And for those who have the older products, it seems like it sucks, but you have to realize that you're at the end of a cycle. And at the end of a console cycle, once they start making that shift, it thins out. We got lucky with the PS3 and Xbox 360 because the shift came pretty late. So we end up with a last year of very good quality games at the end of their cycle. That being said, I feel like now a lot of companies are digging the more simpler PC architect to both of these consoles and are willing to go forward much quicker, which is good. Which is good, and we're getting more solid titles, or at least titles that look like they have the potential to be great coming out from what we can see at E3. High points of E3 for me, Horizon Zero Dawn looks great. Ubisoft, just about everything they did with a few exceptions kind of killed it for me. What would I say would be another high point? I would say the surprise at how good Bethesda did in their first presentation. Thought they did a solid job of that. Low points for me, definitely EA, Square, and the PC Gaming Show was my biggest disappointment. I really thought that they were going to do a lot better with that. I guess I should have paid attention, and I would blame myself wholeheartedly not paying attention to the fact that AMD was sponsoring it, and it was an AMD Presents thing. So the focus was on AMD as much as it was as the games, what they showed of the games. I just didn't cut it how they presented it. I guess I thought it was a novel idea to try to do it talk show style, but it just didn't come out and work. I guess it doesn't work that way with game developers. It's hard to try to tell your story and to show people what your game is all about sitting on the couch answering questions. You know what I mean? Also, because it was just, you know, an AMD produced product, we missed out on the opportunity to get a show that would be able to present a lot of different technology and stuff like that to us in a big, huge public fashion. There was stuff announced, of course, on the floor store, but I think that the PC Gaming Show would have been better if it was a collective effort between everybody in the PC gaming community. But didn't work that way, so that show definitely didn't work for me. Even though, hey, we saw some cool stuff. I got to see Legacy of the Void, which is what I wanted to see, and hear about the beta, so that's cool. But yeah, PC Gaming Show, nah, too all over the place. Can't say that I was pleased with that at all. I was very, very disappointed with it, and that's at best. But yeah, E3 was solid, definitely solid. Some good games, good presentations. Cool year for E3, definitely cool year. But anyway, you guys hit me up and let me know what you think, and I'll holler at you later. This your boy Black Megas, and I'm out. Deuces.